There are very few people who you could match up against Fauci now in terms of celebrity. This guy is very well known. He is considered now the most famous alumni of my high school. Oh, God, I know. What happened? Jesuit institutions. What have we done? But he is a guy that is on everyone's mind because he likes it, because he's on TV every 5 seconds, and he's always telling us what to do. And people that think for themselves have already realized that this guy, for a long time now, is really intellectually subpar and shouldn't be listened to when it comes to policy. He wants to provide data, fine. But this notion of the CDC giving recommendation guidelines on these things, no, this should have been left to state officials. It should have been left to people like Ron DeSantis, who, thank God for him. Can you imagine where we'd be as a country? If you look at Europe right now, there are European countries that have gone back into hard lockdowns in the last couple of months. Can't leave your home. As if that's going to work this time. How many times do they have to do it? What's the point of it? You lock down, you got to unlock down. They said it was about hospital capacity. That was just to get you to comply. That was just to get you to agree, and then they just kept you in there. Just go in the closet. I promise. I'll let you out in 30 seconds. We're just going to lock you in the closet for 30 seconds. It's only going to be 30 seconds. Guess what? Once you're in that closet, oh, sorry. We got to keep you in there for your own safety. It's going to be a couple of days. That's what they've done to us. That is what the Fauciite lockdowners have done to society. Oh, we promise it's just going to be 30 seconds to keep you safe. 3 weeks later, hello, I'm in the closet. Can you let me out, please? No. Fauci says no. But there's one person who has a similar level of reach right now to Dr. Fauci, at least in terms of audience, and that would be Joe Rogan, who I believe does the biggest podcast in the world. And Fauci was asked about this because Rogan's pointed out, why do young, healthy people have to get vaccinated? Why do they have to do it? They're going to be fine. We all know we've seen all the data. People in their 20s and 30s and younger who get COVID are going to be fine. Yeah, there's the 1 in 100,000 who's going to get really sick, goes to the hospital and dies. But that's true of a lot of diseases. By the way, how I told you that they were shutting down the Johnson & Johnson vaccination. And I said that, you could also do this with Tylenol. They actually came out and said that later on, it was about the same as the risk of stomach bleeding and possible hospitalization from taking any NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. So what I said to you just offhand was true. It would be like saying no more NSAIDs because 1 in 100,000 people have a really severe reaction to it. That's what they did with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Yeah. These are the people that are making decisions for you folks. Just remember that. But Joe Rogan brought up that he doesn't think that healthy people should have to get vaccinated. And this is a challenge to the Fauciite consensus that must be taken very seriously. Because, well, hold on a second. Joe Rogan has a really big audience and people will listen to him. And he's a thoughtful guy. He's left of center, but he's not a dogmatic leftist. And Fauci has to slap him down. You can't mess with Fauciism. He won't allow it. Play 16.
Real quickly, I want to ask you, popular podcast host Joe Rogan, you may have heard about this, made comments about young people getting vaccinated. It's getting a lot of buzz. He said, if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I say no. If you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, I don't think you need to worry about this. Saying young, healthy people shouldn't get vaccinated. Just quickly, your response?
Well, that's incorrect, Savannah. And the reason why is that you're talking about yourself in a vacuum then. You're worried about yourself getting infected and likelihood that you're not going to get any symptoms. But you can get infected and will get infected if you put yourself at risk. And even if you don't have any symptoms, you're propagating the outbreak because it is likely that you, even if you have no symptoms, that you may inadvertently and innocently then infect someone else who might infect someone who really could have a problem with a severe outcome. Yeah. So if you want to only worry about yourself and not society, then that's okay. But if you're saying to yourself, even if I get infected, I could do damage to somebody else, even if I have no symptoms at all. And that's the reason why you've got to be careful and get vaccinated.
Yeah, so you say young, healthy people should get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
He's going to want to vaccinate your babies. Just understand that. He's going to want to vaccinate your 1-year-old, your 6-month-old. That's where we're heading. They're going to try to make you do it. And they're going to use social pressure, too. They're going to use the societal pressure of, we can't go back to normal until you get your 1-year-old a COVID vaccination. I want you to be prepared for that, because this is where it's heading. I'm not saying that you will have to I'm not saying you will have to do anything. That's going to be up to you. I am telling you, I know the Fauciite mindset. You know I do. I've seen this guy's moves on the chessboard, several moves ahead all along. You know that. If you've been listening to me for the last year, I know exactly where this has gone. And I've been surprised, honestly, some conservatives who, talk so much about the Constitution, all these things, who have been mask advocates, who have been okay with the suspension of constitutional liberties because the CDC says so. I mean, it's, I don't want to waste my time picking at our own side, but it's amazing to see some of the people out there and the platforms and the followings they have on the right who have been okay with a lot of this stuff. And I'm very thankful for those conservatives who have been with me, holding the line on this and speaking the truth on this all along. This is about more than ratings and Twitter followers, friends. This is about the country. This is about freedom. But Fauci's going to want your 6-month-old child or your 1-year-old child to be vaccinated because of the 1 in a million chance that your child... Remember, they clear it very quickly as well. They have asymptomatic infections that they clear. What is the real level of asymptomatic infection as part of overall infection? They don't know. They tried to say at one point it's 40%. It's actually far lower than that. But they wanted an outcome, which was getting everybody to think, oh, you could pass this to people and don't even know it. I mean, I had full-blown COVID and I was really just, pre-symptomatic, and I was with the Snow Princess, my girlfriend, the day before I was just hit by a bus. You all remember I was doing the show. She wasn't vaccinated at that time. She was fine. Never got sick. And got tested. Didn't have COVID. So this notion that their people are just passing COVID on so rapidly and so easily, and it's happening all over the place, who feel 100% fine? Really? Does that happen with the flu as well? Remember, pre-symptomatic, that has been established with the flu. You have the virus in your system, your body's mounting the response. But asymptomatic infection with the flu? Do you really? Is that what goes on? Yeah, it's okay. 6 feet, 60 feet, 3 feet, makes no difference. 1 mask, 2 masks, 5 masks. Why not goggles? Wipe down your groceries. Wear gloves. Wash your hands 1,000,000 times a day. Think of all the dumbass stuff they've told you all along here. But yeah, no, listen to them now, Put an experimental vaccine that's the first really of its kind in mass distribution, or the first, these mRNA vaccines. Put it in your 1-year-old because Dr. Fauci says so. Okay. This is what we're heading to as a society. We really do need to consider what it would be like if we had if we had a national divorce, if we had a country that said, you know what, all the hysterical leftists, we're gonna let you have you can have a country, and then people that live in normalcy with common sense and believe in individual responsibility and liberty and basic human dignity, they can live in another country. It would be really interesting to watch that play out. I'm just saying, as a thought experiment, it would be really interesting to watch that play out. I mean, right now, I would love to move to a place that rejected Fauciism as part of its state ethos. But there is no such place yet. Ron DeSantis has done what he can as the governor of Florida, but there are mayors, and there are private businesses, and there's federal government regulation that comes in with airports and airlines. But yeah, Rogan's just saying people, we've lived in a society where people have had the flu and been getting the flu and dying, year in, year out. And we didn't have to deal with all this stuff. And I guess you could have had, pre-symptomatic spread of flu, but we weren't expected to all hunker down and hide, You Yeah, at some level, we're all just playing the lottery here with our health. We don't know what's going to happen. There is no perfect safety or security, and the promise of such from the state is a Faustian bargain. Faustian bargain indeed.
Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.